Yeah, I'm running low on time real quick, so I gotta quickly edit this. So I'm just gonna record this from my editor because I forgot to record this before. So, yeah, roll the intro.
Blue skies, blue skies I see. Blue skies, blue skies I see. Blue skies,
Hey Slayers, I'm the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, SEGASLAYER64, and welcome to another episode of SEGASLAYER64 Complains, the show in which I sit here and complain for your enjoyment and amusement, and yeah, just the show where I sit here and complain. So yeah, we're just going to be complaining in this episode. No, but the topic of today's episode is actually piracy and homebrew in general. Sega Slayer complains piracy. Now, we got some nice looking Sonic Adventure gameplay in the background. Now, just for the people who are fans of my streams, I'm just gonna let you know this right now. Okay, I'm gonna let you know this is the Sonic profile. So I already explained that I completed this. So yes, we're gonna be finishing all the other profiles still on stream. So don't go thinking I'm abandoning you guys and finishing the profiles without you. No, we're gonna finish up the rest of the Gamma and Big story on stream. I just wanted to play Lost World, some random levels, because especially Lost World, because Lost World is, I love this opening part of Lost World here. You know that. You've seen me talk about it 1,000 times. So that's why we're just playing Sonic Adventure in the background of this video. Look, that's besides the point. Today's topic, piracy and homebrew all together. Now I want to make my thoughts clear in this video. Okay, I want to make my thoughts clear in this video. I do not support piracy. Okay, so no matter what I say, I do not support piracy. I also want you to know I am a fan of homebrew 100%. Homebrew is something I think is really cool, and I really do enjoy it. But no, I want you to know I do not, because before some random company comes and takes anything I say in this video out of context, I do not, I repeat, do not support piracy. So yeah, don't even try that, okay? Because I don't support piracy. But no, so yeah, today's topic is piracy, and what do I mean by that? Well, let me just go ahead and start explaining right off the bat. So, homebrew. Do you know what that is? You should know what homebrew is. Okay, I'll give you a brief explanation, but after that, I'm just gonna assume you know everything else yourself. Okay, so homebrew is the idea of, in other words, hacking a console to allow it to run unsigned code or things the manufacturer of the console, i.e. Nintendo, Sony, Sega, Microsoft, never designed the console to do. So run emulators or run unsigned game, like homebrew games that independent talented developers make, just so they can have a platform to run it on and things like that, or to run media players. Some of them will do. Like the original Xbox was a huge place for media players. So like the original Xbox had a lot of media players, like DVD players and all that. So yeah, things like that. So unsigned code is actually very cool. Sometimes there'll be ports of apps to it that are on other devices, but not necessarily on that device. So why is the camera screwed up? Can I we'll get that fixed. Thank you. To run unsigned code and things of that nature on the console that were never meant to be ran on the console, like I said, it can result from emulators, media players, and all that. Now, one caveat to homebrewing, right? One of the caveats to homebrewing is a lot of homebrewers hate homebrew because it's a double-edged sword. Because when you enable homebrew, when somebody figures out how to hack a console, either intentionally or unintentionally, it's always going to lead to piracy, regardless. Now, I believe there are two types of groups of pirates. Personally, I do believe this. There are some people who pirate just to play games, and then there are some people who pirate for research. Now, you can argue there's no such good thing as piracy as a whole is never good, because it results in money being lost for the hard-working developers and people who all around just make the game. So piracy is never good, but a lot of people do it, you know what I'm saying, and to each their own. I'm not going to take that risk myself. personally. Now you can also argue like, well, Sega Slayer, getting certain old games is piracy, and I would say yes and no. Okay, but like I said, I don't support piracy, but I would say yes and no as a whole because, well, there's certain games not being sold anymore. You see what I'm saying? Personally, what I classify piracy as, and again, just so we can reiterate, I do not support piracy. What I classify piracy as in gaming, at least, is taking software that is still taking and using software free and illegally that is still in production today. Okay, so like, see this copy of Sonic Adventure right here. If I was to go ahead and pirate this version, so DX, the PC version of this game that I can still buy today, then like, and it would actually support the developer. What I mean by is, then if I was pirating this, then yes, that would be illegal. But I am not pirating this. I actually got this as a CD key, so that's not piracy. It's just, now it could be, now CD keys, I've made a video about that, and they can lead to piracy, but it's not your fault. You buy these games at a discount, and they're usually brought from the developers themselves 9 times out of 10. Also, these mirrors half work, and I hate that. But yeah, so piracy is one of those things that is inevitable with any console. People are always going to try and figure out a way to get something free. It's human nature. Humans don't like paying for things. If you like paying for things, you're the weirdest human I've ever met. I've never taken this path. I've actually never taken this path before. And I'm being 100% serious. I don't know why. I just have never taken that. Probably that's why. That's probably why I've never taken that path, and I'm probably not going to take it again. But also, you ever notice Sonic's color? It only in the DX version gets really weird in that area right here and going forward. But see, now he's dark blue, and when he gets dark blue like this, he reminds me a bit of SA2 Sonic. But if you go out a little bit more, oh, I can't. This is like more, you see the color of SA2 Sonic, and that's because they actually used SA2's model for this Sonic. So if you ever notice his color going like this, like really dark blue and looking similar to SA2's model, that's because in the DX version they did use SA2. Look, this video isn't about this. So, piracy. Why is piracy bad? Well, piracy is going to help contribute to another Sega Slayer Complains video I talked about. And that is, all digital future. Piracy is going to help enable that, because pirates out there, they don't want to pay for games like normal people. Now, like I said, I classify piracy as something that that is still in production today, that you are illegally getting for free, or are obtaining for free now in an unlegal fashion. So what I mean, like going and downloading a copy of a Switch game off the internet, or getting an Xbox One Blu-ray disc and burning an Xbox One ROM to it or ISO to it so you can get the game you want for free, or something similar to that. Okay, that's piracy to me, at least. That's what I classify piracy as. This does not work ever properly, but yeah, so that's what I classify piracy as. Now you doing that teaches the company. Now, a console gets homebrewed for a lot of reasons, like I said, because people want to run unsigned code, get emulators on the console or whatever, and that's all cool. But when you have piracy getting involved, it makes homebrew look bad. Now, companies do not want you to be defeating their security on their consoles. You think Sony was happy when you think Sony was probably at their happiest when people actually believed that the PS3 was unhackable, okay? Sony actually believed that when the people believed the PS3 was unhackable, Sony was at their happiest, because if you look at what happened before, the PSP got hacked pretty easily. Homebrew nightmare. That's what happened. It was a piracy nightmare for Sony. So much piracy actually going on that it kind of made Sony almost want to give up on the PSP in general. So piracy can screw over homebrew developers in a lot of ways, because it gives all homebrew people a bad name. Like I said, now piracy, now there's another side to piracy that I think is good, and that's the research side of piracy. There are some people who will pirate games just to research them, or like not actually have the intent to play them, but maybe to dig inside the code of the game or whatever, or maybe just to uncover new things from the code, or maybe even just pirate a game just to pirate a game just to see how would a console handle pirate games, or maybe some people pirate games just to see, just because they're curious and they want to see the security measures in a certain game, because developers do hide very funny things in some of their methods. Like a lot of the Grand Theft Auto games, I remember hearing that they had a lot of like anti-piracy features in all of them that were extremely funny, like being not able to beat the game and things like that. So there is a good side to piracy, but it's still not good to pirate games. Even if you're going to do research like that, there's probably ways for you to do such research legitimately, which you should always look into. Always buy games. If you have the extra money to buy games, then go ahead and do it. And if you don't have the extra money to buy your games, well then guess what, dude? Don't play games. Or, well, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it. There are a ton of free games out there you can get. Go figure out a way to make money to get games, okay? Don't just go out and illegally take games. Now, games that, like I said, aren't being produced anymore, that's a different story. So, if you're gonna argue emulation is kind of piracy, you can't really argue that, because like I said, these games aren't in production anymore. There's a lot of games that you just cannot get from older consoles that are just unavailable to you nowadays. Like, it's genuinely sad how much lost software is out there, or freemium software. Sometimes it's called abandonware, whatever you want to call it. But it's kind of sad just how much of that software is lost out there that the world does not know about, because there is a lot of lost software out there, and it's actually, like I said, it's actually extremely sad personally, because I think all software should be represented in some way, some form. So I am actually very grateful to the sites out there that do host this like freemium. Oh my god, I hate, you know, maybe we're done with this level, because it's giving me a bit of, I hate the ending part. Like, I only play that level just to do the very first part of the level, and then that's it for me. But yeah, I mean, still one of my favorite levels though. But yeah, I think all software, because developers spent hard time on this month. You know, they spent a lot of time making these games for people to enjoy, and for them just to be abandoned actually kind of sucks. I wonder if there's a way for Knuckles to get in here. Like, I'm actually curious to that, but no, we'll come back to that later. Yeah, the developers, they spend a lot of time working on these games and working to develop these games for your enjoyment, and for companies and publishers just to decide, hey, you can't play that game anymore because guess what, we didn't make enough money, so we're just gonna take this game away from you. Now that I do see sad, and I do think a lot of people should take action then, because it's like, it's not fair. I should be able to experience the developers game. Just because you didn't make enough money on it doesn't mean you should abandon it. Like, I always thought companies having a better model, instead of throwing away games that don't sell well, make them free, you know, for more people to experience. Put ads in those suckers or something, like mobile games, like I said. Because, you know, I think like mobile games are a good example of this, because like, a lot of mobile games die quick. Like, I remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out on mobile, and it's hard to play that game nowadays. And also, piracy leads to a couple other things that end up sucking for gamers like myself. And that is anti-piracy methods. Like I said, a lot of games incorporate these. Some do it better than others. Some do it extremely terribly. And I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way right now. The worst offender of anti-piracy measures that you can possibly have is one little thing known as DRM. So Knuckles cannot make it up here because he can't grab onto the walls, which is weird. Okay, but yeah, that's DRM. DRM ruins everything. Okay, DRM is one of the worst things you could possibly have in a video game, but it's all thanks to pirates. So you want DRM? You want to be upset about DRM? Thank the pirates, because they're the ones doing this to us. Okay, they're the ones who incorporate DRM. And if you don't know what DRM is in blatant terms is a thing that makes games only playable if you're connected to the internet. So it means certain games that you have brought it can be games that are multiplayer and completely single player only, right? you have to have, or well, sometimes they mean you have to be able to play them, you have to check into the internet. Other ones have it set so you have to check into the internet every 7 days, right, to go to be able to play your game. And that really does suck, because as a person, people don't always have access to the internet, okay? I've had times personally in my life as well where I didn't have internet for a long time. It's happened to a lot of us, I'm sure. It's happened to the best of us. And it probably, if it hasn't happened to you, it probably will at some point. And yes, it does suck and it happens, but hey, it just happens. Sometimes you don't have the money to pay for the internet. Sometimes companies go out of business and you have to get new internet. Sometimes you're getting new internet service and it just takes them a while to get here with it. So, it happens from time to time. And by companies doing this, it means essentially, hey, guess what? You don't have internet, you paid for this game, too bad, because you don't get to enjoy it. And it's sad. It's very sad, and it's very unfair, and it makes me a bit upset to even call myself a gamer, because these pirates have brought this on us. Piracy. We have to suffer for what a few people in the gaming industry do, and it is actually a little bit disheartening. And to be honest, I do wish companies would come up with better methods, but in their minds, they're just doing what they have to do to rightfully protect their intellectual property, which I do agree with. But it is unfair that all gamers have to go through this. You know what I'm saying? It's very bad, and it does suck, but I guess defeats piracy. And the reason, and some of you people might be like, well, SEGASLAYER, how does having the game checking the internet every day, every 7 days can defeat piracy? Well, I'm gonna let you know right now. The way it defeats piracy is lots of pirated games cannot connect to the internet. So let's just say you were on your PC, right, and you got a pirated copy of a game, right? Let's just say, Call of Duty Cold War. Why? Because I'm gonna be getting that game soon at some point when I get the extra money. But I'm just saying that as an example because it's a pretty prevalent game. So let's just say you have Call of Duty Cold War and it has DRM in it, and I think it actually does have DRM, but I'm not sure. But let's just say you do have it and it does, and you got a pirated copy of the game, okay? You would not be able to play online with the game because it cannot connect to internet because it is a pirated copy. You can only play the single player story mode, right? And maybe you can play offline with bots or zombies or something like that. And you can also play locally with friends, but like, that's that. But if you can't connect to the internet, your DRM fails, meaning you cannot play the game because you can't connect to the internet. So meaning you would probably have to get a fresh install every 7 days, which would become annoying for pirates, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to play the game, meaning you would lose all your progress immediately every time. So it's supposed to be very annoying and just painful for pirates, but it just genuinely sucks in the first place for anybody who even isn't a pirate like myself. It does suck for all of us, but hey, we have to deal with it because of the minority in the gaming community. And piracy just sucks because of that reason, because we are the ones who suffer 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, the pirates don't suffer, okay? They really don't suffer. The people who end up suffering are the actual people who work hard to pay for their games, you know what I'm saying? Now, take Sonic Adventure, right? I've brought this game from Sega so many times that I'm probably the #1 buyer of this game, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, like, I'm probably serious. I've just brought this game from Sega so many times. Any chance I get to support Sega, I will support Sega. Now, like I said, I consider piracy and freemium software, or abandonware is the more common name for it. I consider piracy and abandonware 2 different things. You might not, but I do. I mean, if you can't figure out a way, even the games like Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast, if you go and get a ROM of this game offline, I don't consider it piracy because, well, if you're getting the Dreamcast version, because guess what? There's no legal way to get the Dreamcast version anymore. If I go buy a third-party copy, that's not helping Sega. So is it really piracy? I mean, sure, you can go buy the DX version of the game, but like, I want the Dreamcast models. I want all that. I want the original Dreamcast mode. And Sega does not offer that in any way, shape, or form in the DX version of the game, besides mods that are not official. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to go and mess with the mods because they don't know how to use mods. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't even know how to mod a game. Some people don't even have devices capable of mods, like an Xbox or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I have a PC. Just because it took me years to get a PC, okay? I never had a PC, so I would just look onward at people who had mods and things like that because I didn't have one. The best I had was a phone, and mods on phone are very spotty. Well, no, the best I had back in the day was a tablet, but mods on phones were like very spotty. I didn't get my first phone until I turned 13, which would have been back in 2016, which does not seem like it was that long ago, but it was, man. But yeah, I didn't get my first phone until I turned 13. So even then, I had tablets before that. Going back years before that, I had tablets. So it was kind of hard, especially on those old versions of Android. It was kind of hard to, in general, mod anything. You see what I'm saying? So in general, in cases like that, I do consider homebrew to be okay. Genuinely, personally. Like I said, you might not consider it to be okay, but I do in cases like that where you have no other choice, man. You can't go out and you can't go play the game. You can't go out and you can't get your hands on a copy of the game they don't sell anymore. It's like if you were to go pirate Sonic Jam. Sonic Jam is extremely expensive in real life, right? If you want an actual Sega Saturn copy, and not to mention if I go buy Sonic Jam off eBay or something like that, Sega doesn't benefit either way. In fact, and that's another reason companies want to take things all digital, is because they're sick of the used gaming market, and I don't understand why. I think the used gaming market is awesome, personally. I love it. It really is awesome, and the Master Mode is still missing a chunk for whatever reason. I think it really is awesome, and I always did love used games, but Sega and other companies are upset because they don't make money off of used games. So when you go buy a game off eBay, Sega doesn't see any of those profits at all. Versus if you go buy a game in the store, they do see profits. So that's another reason they want this all digital future so bad. Personally, not me. What's wrong with a game reselling? It's the same reason companies never liked DVD. When DVDs came out, movie makers were upset about them. Or when VHS came out, movie makers again upset because they don't like for you to be able to pirate their things. In fact, to be honest with you, companies who make movies, they would prefer for movies never to come home at all in general with you, because if they did, they'd lose a lot of money because people sharing DVDs with friends. I know to be honest with you, sharing a DVD with a friend is technically illegal, but I mean, no one really cares. The government doesn't even care because it's everyone does that. It's sharing something you own with a friend. So yeah, but they don't like that. So they don't like reselling games. And this isn't a video about reselling games. It's a video about piracy. But piracy as a whole just cast a bad shadow upon straight up homebrewers like me. I have a bunch of consoles, right? I have a bunch of consoles that I have a bunch of hacked consoles. Like, let me name some, right? My PS Vita is hacked. My 3DS, my new 3DS XL is hacked. My Wii is hacked. My Wii U is hacked. Let me see. My Xbox 360 is modded, but that's physically modded. Let me see. My Nintendo Switch hacked. I have a couple more consoles out there. I'm just trying to name them a few. My PS3 is not hacked because I wasn't going through the hassle of actually trying to hack that. So yes, my PS3 is not hacked. But a couple more. I'm gonna plan on hacking my GameCube pretty soon since it can kind of be done with software now. So yeah, but no, that's besides the point. Okay, people who homebrew just because it's cool, like me, I homebrew because I want to play talented developers' games that people make, or ports of games that never came out for consoles on my device, which is really freaking cool, or run emulators of games that I actually own on my other devices is just cool. Like the ability to be able to hack your Wii and play Game Boy Advance games on the big screen is actually super cool. And yes, there are official ways to do that now, but not for every game, so keep that in mind. I never actually used that way anyway. We're just gonna take this way. But yeah, there are official ways to do that. But now companies like Sony themselves, they even said they wouldn't have a problem with people homebrewing the PSP, they said back in the day, if it didn't enable piracy. Sony and but here's my message to developers, okay? Here's my message to developers, because for pirates are hackers, essentially. They're talented themselves, and they probably still will figure out a way for your console to be hacked, but companies can delay pirates by months, years at a time if they give people ways to automatically homebrew their consoles. This leads into my last argument of this video and last point of this video. Ways companies themselves can counteract piracy without embracing an all-digital future. And the way they can simply do this is by simply having ways where people can access the internals of the hardware they brought and develop things for the hardware they brought and run unsigned code from the hardware that they brought that doesn't enable piracy. And some of you might be saying, well, SEGASLAYER, that's just a pipe dream. No software, no company would actually do something that cool. And I'm going to tell you who does something that cool right now. Microsoft. Now, I can't show you footage of this in this video because I have my Xbox One is not hooked up, it's down there, and even if I did, I don't really feel like getting out my capture card and all that, because I'm actually recording this video extremely late at night and going to be editing it extremely late at night and uploading extremely late at night. So I'm not going to pull it out tonight, but maybe one day I'll do a video on it and I'll talk about it in further depth. But Microsoft has this thing in Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and all Xbox One consoles and all Xbox Series consoles, so Series S, Series X, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, the original Xbox One, they all have this feature. And this feature is actually called Developer Mode. And any console can activate Developer Mode. And what Developer Mode allows you to do is essentially what it says it does. It turns your console into Developer Mode, meaning you can play around with the system in really good ways and run on unsigned code and develop your own games for the system directly on the system, test games that you've developed for the system on the system itself. And this is the reason now, and I'm going to talk about the Microsoft's competition of that generation, the PS4 and PS5. Yes. Now, if you notice something, right, go out there and look. The Xbox One has not been hacked yet at all. It has not been hacked. Okay, and you know why? Because Microsoft gives you developer mode. There's no reason for the console to be hacked because developer mode is already there for the homebrew developers and the people who want to run emulators and other custom apps on their Xbox. All they have to do is run developer mode, and guess what? All at their fingertips. Now, the counterpart to Microsoft's Xbox One, right? And also keep in mind, developer mode is a safe way and it does not enable piracy, okay, on the console. And also, Microsoft actually regulates developer mode, so you actually have the ability to lose access to developer mode if Microsoft does catch you figuring out how to do piracy. Another console that does this is actually the Oculus Quest 2, which is a VR console, but still it has its own developer mode, and you can run side quests from it, which allows you to, you know, install homebrew games and apps and emulators and things like that onto your Quest. It's actually really cool. You should check it out. And again, you can directly access this. Any person can access this. All you gotta do is go to the Oculus website, and your console is ready to enable developer mode. And you can run side quests and a bunch of other things. It's really cool. Now, Microsoft's counterpart, Sony, with the PlayStation 4, not the PS5 yet, but let's be honest here, I don't think it'll be that long. It might be, but it probably won't be that long. I haven't heard any talks about anyone trying to homebrew the PS5 yet. Or trying to homebrew the Xbox Series X yet, but I don't think they will. Like I said, look, the Xbox One design, unlike Microsoft, right? The Xbox One went its whole generation without being hacked. The system is still not hacked to this day. At least not conventionally anyway, and if it is, no one has heard about it. Most people say it isn't hacked though from the sources I checked. So the Xbox One has survived its entire generation without a single person trying to hack it. Why? Because Microsoft gave you, instead of you wasting your time trying to hack the system, Microsoft gave you the tools to automatically hack the system for free. The system essentially comes pre-hacked without you having to hack it, okay? That's it. Sony, on their other hand, didn't do this. So guess what? The PS4 has been hacked and continues to be hacked to this day. The PS4 has been hacked, what, 4 or 5 times now? Every time Sony tries to patch it, it's been hacked again. So look at this. No one needed to break Microsoft's security in the Xbox One because Microsoft gave you an open way to automatically do it that doesn't harm your system, doesn't violate any warranties, and just keeps the system all around fresh and clean. It's easy to do, okay? On any retail Xbox, you don't have to have a special type of Xbox. If you have an Xbox One sitting around, or you just got an Xbox Series X or S, go right now and just automatically enable developer mode if you wish. I don't really know like, it's very easy to do. Microsoft tells you how to do it, and anyone can do it. You don't have to actually be a developer to enable it on your console. So you can do it for free right now, like, no problem. It's free, it's easy, and it's easy to do, okay? So that's why the Xbox One has not been hacked. Sony, on the other hand, does not offer these type of tools, and so their system has been hacked multiple times. Even the pirates haven't tried to hack the Xbox One. And see, the thing is, right, people only hack these consoles because they want access to developer mode and things like that the companies won't give them. Now, if Sony and Nintendo gave access to a developer mode on the Switch or on the PlayStation, their console would not be hacked, and pirates wouldn't really have a way into the system. Most pirates are actually kind of stupid, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong, there's extremely smart pirates out there, but lots of them are actually kind of dumb. And so they kind of just wait for other people to hack the console and then try to pirate on the console. I mean, that's a very stupid, but that's genuinely what they do. So when you give people who would normally try to hack the console a way to automatically have the console hacked directly without trying to do anything extra, it prevents people from going out and trying to hack the console. It's a foolproof method. Now if more companies would do this, like Sony. Now I remember Sony back in the day when PS2 users wanted Linux. Sony gave them a dedicated distribution of Linux on the PS2. So there was no reason. Now the PS2 still got hacked, but that was different because, like I said, Linux did not fully open up the system. It just kind of allowed you to run Linux on the system. Now, the PSP didn't get Linux, okay? So people felt like they were betrayed because they wanted Linux. So that was the main drive behind the console being hacked. There's always a certain drive behind the console being hacked. Like, if I have developer mode on my Xbox One, I have full access to the complete power of the system without having to waste time trying to hack it. I can just get in and do what I gotta do, and I don't have to worry about helping pirates out in the end. You see what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, to go ahead and wrap this, to reiterate and wrap this video up, because it's late and I gotta edit this really quickly. To wrap this video up and finish saying what I have to say, companies out there, if you want to prevent pirates from trying to hack your system, all you have to do is do it yourself. Save people the trouble and hack the system without actually hacking the system. There's no need for Microsoft security on the Xbox One to be defeated, because guess what? It's already pre-hacked for free by Microsoft themselves, okay? Doesn't that only make you love Phil Spencer a little bit more? I know it does me, okay? So listen, at the end of the day, companies, Sony, Nintendo, listen up. I know you're never going to do this, especially you, Sony. I mean, you're probably even, I don't know if Nintendo's been getting a lot more open nowadays, but like, still a very stubborn company. Nintendo and Sony are two stubborn companies, probably because their video game lines was in the generations where you had to be stubborn, but like, still, man, lighten up a little bit, but still, yeah, Sony and Nintendo will probably never listen to this, and they'll probably just keep trying their garbage security measures and having them be defeated and enabling pirates. Pirates give us a bad name. Pirates give gamers a bad name. Pirates give homebrew developers a bad name. Pirates give Microsoft and Sony and all them a bad name. And they just give the gaming community in general a bad name. And they are a leech in this community and should be eradicated. Again, I want to reiterate, do not support piracy, but piracy and abandonware are two different things in my opinion, personal opinion. So that is my personal opinion on that matter. But people who genuinely just pirate new games are leached into on this community. Like, take a game right here, right? I'm gonna say this. Take a game like Amazing Spider-Man 2 for PC and things like that. You cannot get that game legally anymore in a way that would actually benefit Activision. So the only true way to get it nowadays would be piracy, but I'm not saying go out and pirate it. I wouldn't do it, so I wouldn't recommend you do it at all. I'm just saying, like, there's no way to actually benefit from getting it nowadays. There's no possible way to actually get it nowadays, and I actually fell. I was not supposed to fall. I'm stuck. Okay, well, I didn't want to take this path, but hey, we're just gonna have to take it because, oh well. Yeah, but yeah, what I was saying is, yes, pirates just give all of us a bad name, and we really should figure out ways to beat them. But Microsoft has the key. Microsoft is the first ever company to have, I think Microsoft is the first ever company to have a console completely last its entire generation without being, without having the security defeated. But that being said, yeah, that's just my thoughts, personal thoughts and opinions on piracy. You can think what you want and feel how you want, but those were my personal thoughts and beliefs alone. That being said, though, if you're new here, if you could subscribe, that'd be really awesome. We're trying to reach 300 subscribers, and you'd be helping us out a lot. Make sure to share this video with your friends to become a Super Slayer. I've been the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, SEGASLAYER64. And also, I want to reiterate, I hope you guys like the new microphone I have. So if you're watching the video after, because I talked about it in the live stream, but for those who didn't see the live stream, yes, I got a new mic. Here it is right here. I hope you like it. I hope you think it's really good. I'm going to listen back and hope it's really good myself. But that being said, until next time, have a good one, Slayers. And let me know down in the comments your thoughts on piracy.